Hi everybody, it's Rena. Yes, you're stuck with one of my visions. Okay, I have this one, and there's a little twist to it here. But anyway, I had this one the night before last, but I didn't have time. Like I said yesterday, I had something stuck in my eye from the garden. It always seems to happen to me, and it's always my left eye. But anyway, so I really couldn't like focus or anything. So anyway, I had this vision that I was sitting across the table. Now, this is a vision, so it's not like a dream. It's like real. It's like reality. Like you reach out and you can touch the table, you can see everything crystal clear. It's not a dream, and you remember it, and you can interact, you can make things happen in the dream, you can interact with people, you or whatever. It's not like a dream where kind of everything's blurry and things just kind of happen. So I'm sure a lot of you know what it is. I've been having them some most of the time. Now I go into a vision from sleep, and then I know it was a vision because I usually wake up. But actually, the last 2 nights I've slept full night sleep. And for me, that's like 9, 10 hours. So anyway, I was so happy. So I feel a little manic today. That's my own little up. I only had 1 cup of iced coffee. Anyway, so I was in this room and I was sitting across the table from this man. And he was not known to me, but I knew he was a very good looking man, and he was very slick looking, like he was the ladies' man type. And I'm married, and but in a vision it was, I wasn't married or anything. And I he was black, and he was very black, and he had very thin features, and he was wearing shades, and I could see his eyes were looking at me from over the shades, which means kind of deceptions, and he was looking at me, and he was kind of getting closer and closer to me. And he was very, like I said, very good looking, very charming. He thought he was like pulling one on me, like he wanted to. He had just had with my sister, my twin sister, and she had kind of fallen for the whole thing, and it was over, and he was done with her. So now he was going to try me. So but I already knew him, and I knew his kind. I didn't know him, but I knew his type, and I wasn't going to fall for that one. And I was a little bit on the defensive already too. So I let him talk, and he was sweet talking. He was so good looking and everything, and his skin was so shiny and black. And as he looked at me with these pretty eyes over the shades, which shows he was hiding something in the symbolism. And anyway, so excuse me, Fresca and lime break. Anyway, so finally he got close enough to me where he was just about to kiss me, and I said, "Oh, no, you're not." I said, "I know exactly what you're up to." I said, "And I don't fall for it." And he was like, kind of like, oh, well. But I knew I had earned his respect. And that was the important part. And he would not disrespect me ever again. And it didn't matter what my sister did, even though she's not like that, whatever. But anyway, in the dream, it was a vision. So, these things happen. So anyway, I had earned respect. That was the whole point. So anyway, this guy was now my partner, but he would respect me. So all of a sudden I was lying in a bed, and we were partners now. And I was highly pregnant, like about 12 months. And I saw some women, were Hispanic women, were all excited and happy, and they already had laid a paper doll of the baby, which looked just like Summer, with white hair, light white hair, and a little pink dress, a paper doll on the bed, and how pretty she looked. She was going to look, and I was like, I don't want to be pregnant. I was like really pregnant. I said, "What about my medication for my bipolar?" He said, "How am I going to manage that?" Because I'd have to give it up, obviously. I would never do that. I did give up Valium when I was first pregnant with my first, and it was like a week from hell, but I would never take anything, or even saccharin or caffeine when I was pregnant, or Tylenol, nothing. But anyway, So anyway, I said, what am I going to do with my bipolar? I said, well, maybe I can just stay in the house, you know. But it was like I kind of didn't want to go through this, but I was already there. Like I was out to there, and I knew it was his baby, and he was a good partner at that point because I had earned, like I said, I had earned his respect. So I was walking around with my belly out to here, and we were in like a condo, and there was also champagne, and I like champagne, but I don't drink it very often. But it's expensive, and well, what for? I like bubble water. Um, anyway, anything bubbly. There were little brown bottles of champagne here and there, and I would take a sip from them once in a while. And anyway, that'll come later. Something weird about the champagne. It didn't really have anything to do with the dream or the vision. Well, you know what I mean when I say. So anyway, I was walking around, and we lived in a condo, and there was a slider, and there was a lake over above beyond the patio, that the slider opened up into a patio. And we were watching as the lake started to fill and get higher and higher. And it was like all the tenants, all of us were looking at the lake, and there was water. It wasn't raining, but the lake was getting higher and higher, and people were talking about evacuations. And the sky was kind of like a blue gray, a dark color, and I knew the water was coming from somewhere way off past the lake, and the water would like come forward a little bit. It was more like gel water. It wasn't really like splashy kind of water, like real water, but it was very blue and deep. And they said, we were thinking, oh God, I hope we don't have to get evacuated. And I saw some of the other buildings on the other side of the wall were already starting to crumble from their water, the water that had, gotten into their homes. And I thought, oh man, why do we have to, evacuate? And I said, and anyway, we were watching and watching, and the water had come just up to our slider, which was open so we could watch. And I was amazed at the multitude of water. I looked at the lake. It was like right up to like I said, it was a gel like stuff, so it could kind of move back and not leave any marks, and then it would move forward a little bit. And all of a sudden, I looked down. I was looking down at our doorway. We're at the front, like I was looking through a surveillance camera or something, and there were three men at the door, and they were like, like the security crew or the people in charge, like three men, like officials of some sort, like who were in charge of evacuation. And they knocked on the door, and I was like, and they said, and I knew that, we were gonna have to, and they said, excuse me, ma'am, they knocked on the door open. They said, but you're gonna have to evacuate. The water's gotten too high. And I said, oh. And they said, you need to pack a suitcase or whatever you can take. And I said, I was kind of like, oh boy. And my partner was there, and he said he was doing his thing. He was getting his suitcase, and I was like, I didn't want to, and I was trying to decide what to take. And the water was just like unbelievable, the lake. And it was time, and these men were now taking over. They were officials of some sort, and they were now evacuating us, and they were telling us to leave, basically, was the message. And I kept going back, and I was looking mostly for like underwear, like my underwear, like frilly underwear and stuff like that, which I really don't wear that much anymore. But that was the stuff that I was more attracted to in my drawer. And I pulled open more drawers, and I found some more frilly underwear. And the guy looked at me and he said, "Oh, they're really pretty, but don't you think you should take something more, more practical?" And anyway, so this went on. I kept going in and out, and I packed my suitcase, and then I'd say, "Well, maybe I should take it. And I'd keep going kind of in and out and in and out. And you knew we had to leave. And then they were taking over. And and I knew we would be coming back, but I was hoping there wouldn't be too much damage. So they were taking over now. So we left, and then that was the end of the vision. So I took the vision to mean that the guy was, since there'd been kind of like a little bit of attacks on my reputation, because I kind of went after somebody else saying I didn't like the way she presented something about Summer, because also I listened to her feed on JJ and Tylee, the way she talked about. I heard her session that the police were like throwing questions at her like 100 miles an hour, and she was like, it was way too fast for anybody to like. Well, when did you see this happen? How long were the people there? What kind of like nobody could have answered questions that fast. At first I thought that was the police were like they didn't understand about psychic things. Well, anyway, she was like describing the butchering, like she was describing a sandwich or going to the store, like in a calm voice, like I would have been like hysterical, like trying to describe the scene of what these people did to these children, and especially Tylee. And I just couldn't understand how she could do that. But anyway, I think the thing about he got my sister first. He took advantage of my sister first, and that was okay. So, but it didn't matter about her reputation. That was her reputation. So it's like other psychics, other for people who see things, whatever they do is just fine, But he was trying to pull one over on me, and I was like, no, this is the way I do it. This is the way it is with me. And you don't tell me what to do. And oh my God, I've had some Bible thumpers coming at me. Whatever you want to do is fine. Just get off my back. I mean, this is where it comes from. It comes from God. It's not, whatever. So I can't stand when people do that. Like, you're a witch. You're going to burn it. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I had maintained my reputation, and I don't go after other people on here. I did a little rant about how she presented Summer's demise, and I was also very upset about the calm way she described Tylee's death. But I didn't write anything about that. I didn't even listen to the whole thing. It was just too disturbing. With the calm, like, I would have been hysterical, telling, I don't, whatever. But anyway, so I had earned my respect. I hope I do on here. And when people say, oh, don't listen, oh, she's a fake, she's a phony, without even listening to this person, I always say, go listen to what they have to say. Please don't judge them because you like me. Go listen to them first before I thank you very much for having faith in me, but please listen to them. Make your own mind up. Make your own judgments. Make your own decisions. I'm here for you, if you want, but please don't take my word for it. Go check it out yourself, because that's the way I am. I want everybody to make their own decisions. That's why these Bible thumpers kind of get to me, because I think you're being a bunch of sheep. Like, figure it out on your own. Don't follow somebody else. Like, go to yourself. Go to your own spiritual center, and try to, don't be jealous of other people that can talk to spirits or God. Try to find your own center. And maybe you can do these things too a little bit. Don't be jealous and nasty and say we're all going to burn because we have abilities. We've worked on these abilities. We've earned them. So anyway, that was part of the dream. The second part, obviously, about the paper doll being highly pregnant was Summer. I'm highly pregnant with Summer, which means the case is about to burst. It can't really go any further. Um, I was over pregnant, which means something is about to happen. Also, the lake being about to burst. A lake is water, has to do with emotions, all these feelings. I mean, this case has been an emotional nightmare for everybody, including Summer and me too, because she's been with me, and I get to see all the things that she's shown me, and I know water is emotional. If you want to know dream vision, that's your first dream vision lesson. That water has to do with emotions and how the water is. If it's overflowing, it means it's gotten too much. It's going over what it should be. It's about to, everybody's about to lose it. So anyway, the water coming up to the surface, also besides the highly pregnancy, about to give birth, which means something is about to happen. And the emotions are just flying off the handle right now with everybody. And I've seen it in certain people's commentary, normal people that I considered normal commentators and pages are now really going off the walls with some of their ideas. I mean, that I think they're, whom I consider to be sane, are now like. But anyway, and the three police or people in charge, we'll call them police or whatever, I think are the people in charge. They were uniformed people. They were in charge. They were going to take over. So I believe that the police are, I mean, this seems like it's been like a year, but it's actually not even been 3 months. The police are about to take over, and they were just kind of getting us out of there and saying, okay, we're taking over now. We're taking over the situation, which means they're about to move on something. I know people are on some sites are doing their own searching, and which is what we're being driven to. If I was in Tennessee, I'd be out searching. I don't care if I'd be trespassing, to tell you the truth. But anyway, they were taken over finally. There were three means communications. Um, that's what it means. So maybe that's what the three meant. The three, or maybe it meant EquiSearch, law enforcement, and TBI. I don't really know for sure, but the three men were there. I saw them very clearly at the door, and I kept going back for stuff, which means that's the way I am because I want to. And me looking for really pretty things means I want to be younger. I want to still, I'm still curious. I'm looking for things. I'm still searching for things that attract me, that I'm honed in on. Like I'm always looking for signs, for things, um, about the case, for things that attract, not the mundane, not the usual, not the usual stuff, but things that capture my attention, which I might find as a sign. Um, that's the way I am. I've always been attracted to the unusual stuff. Like I didn't look for uh, boxer shorts or anything when I was packing my suitcase. I looked for frilly bras and all that stuff like that. So I'm looking for unusual stuff, and I kept going back in and changing, my ideas about the suitcase. And the people, the men, would come and say, "Ma'am, you really have to. It's time for you to, go." Which is a sign that it's time for us to leave it to law enforcement, that they're about to make their move finally. So that was the end of the vision. And so, that was, hopefully that's it. And I, I also had a vision while I might as well say this one too. I had a vision today. Well, I was just lying down. I was starting to get dinner ready, and I was just lying down with my lemon, my lime, and my Fresca, and I was reading on the phone, the Google News, and it had an article about. It said wild boars were captured, two baby wild boars, piglets, in Bucharest, I think it was, for these scientists. They wanted to study them because there's apparently a virus that they want to study. And so they capture the boars in these wooden metal type cages. And they're not mean to them or anything. The cages are, just to capture the boars. So they captured two piglets. And they had this all on camera because they, watched so the babies have been in I love animal stories. I was concerned about and the title captured my attention. It said the pack, or the group of pigs, busted the baby piglets out of the trap, and I'm like, wow. And so I read it, and it seems that the mother, they assumed it was the mother. She was in the pissed off mode, or the quills went up on the back of her. These boards are dangerous, that went up on the back of her back. And she methodically and systematically, with the rest of the females and the rest of the Boar family, or whatever you colony or whatever, busted out. They were in there for 2.5 hours, the piglets, because they had it on a timer. They were watching them. And the mom, apparently, they took them half hour to get those piglets out of there. They did it in such a way that the scientists were even shocked that they worked in such a systematic way to get these babies out. Like, they all worked together as a team, and they knew the right pressure points and it wasn't easy to get out of that trap. It was wood, it was metal, and it had a top on it and everything. Within a half hour, they had those piglets out. And while I was reading it, I felt, all of a sudden, it was like a wave came over me. And I knew it was like a spirit. And I'm getting chills just thinking about it, but it was like a spirit came over me. And I saw the scene in my mind while I was wide awake, lying on the bed, reading this article. I saw in my mind the boars working on the cage to get these piglets out. And the spirit told me that animals were becoming more intelligent, and they had already started to become more intelligent. And it was for a reason. It wasn't, and I said, what about those horrible experiments? Is it like those hybrid things that they're making, and the spirit said, no, it's from God. It's from nature. God is making them more intelligent, as to be more of a rival, like a race, like almost a smarter race, like higher up than what people think is dumb animals, but giving them more intelligence and intuition. And the scientists were like remarking in the article, like how intelligent they were, and they could empathetic, and how they systematically worked together to do that. They were shocked. And the spirit said that this would be happening more and more often, because God wanted the animals to become a higher level race of creatures on this earth. And I was like, and I could feel the spirit on top of me telling me this. I tried to take in as much as I could, and that was what they told me. And then I saw something I'd seen in a vision about 35 years ago. It was part of something that we're going through, the great cleansing, which I've told you. There's all this madness that's going on in the COVID. It is no coincidence. It's God's way of cleansing the earth and the people. And this was part of it, where I saw animals on a ledge, forest animals. And I never did figure out this part of it. And they were all standing above me and the spirit. We were standing like on a ledge. They were standing above. And I never understood what this meant, what this part of the visions I was seeing meant, that the animals were above a human. And it all made sense to me that this is probably it. If I see something in a vision and it doesn't happen, it doesn't feel right. I I'll remember it forever until it happens. And when it happens, I'll get it. I'll know it happened. That was it. But that is something I have never. I saw the bear standing next to the wolf, standing next to the owl, just all getting along, and they were higher than a human. That was the point. And it was dug out. It was because of humans had dug out this ledge. They had made it, they made the ledge. It was because of humans that the animals were there, higher. And I thought maybe it's God's way of animals being able to protect themselves against humans by outsmarting them more. That's their survival. It's evolutionary for them to survive against the most dangerous animal on the planet, us, is to become more intelligent and to outsmart us. And that's all I can say. And that was I ran in the kitchen after that. I told my husband, I was like, you wouldn't believe. And I'm looking for this story so you guys can read it. I've looked up all kinds of things so far, but I haven't found it. It's not all, I thought I saved it to my videos, but it was really fascinating. When I do find it, I will post it. And I'm glad. I'm glad because the way animals are treated is just horrible. And it said this experiment was done in 2020, or when this happened. And animals are becoming more intelligent because they have to. It's evolution. It's for survival. And so good for animals. But anyway, that means summer. Law enforcement is finally going to do something. It's coming to an end. Summer's about to be born. That means this is about to be almost over. Um, that's, all I can say about that. So hopefully my pregnancy won't go on for like another 12 months, but I do believe that's what it was. And and the bubbles, the champagne bubbles. I listened to that Donna Serafina's Tylee and JJ and Tylee thing about the being chopped up and all that. Anyway, she described her when her daughter visits her. Her daughter died when she was 11 or something, unfortunately. She said when the daughter comes, she feels these like effervescent bubbles. She said, kind of like champagne. And I listened to this video like this afternoon, and I had this vision last night, and in the vision were champagne bottles, little champagne bottles. And this is the second time, and I didn't remember it, that about the champagne bubbles in the vision about summer. When I was packing, there were little champagne bottles around. They didn't really have anything to do with the vision, but I remember. Then I read her article, and she's saying it's like champagne bubbles, and I was thinking, champagne bubbles. That was in my vision, but the first time was about the Noah's Ark, and then which I put in Summer's little terrarium in the morning, and then later on I read about her vision about Summer, how she died, the gruesome way she died, and she's talking about a carousel with animals. So either a spirit's having like fun with us or something, or that was the second time it happened. So I think spirits sometimes like to have fun, but whatever. So I'll talk to you soon again, and thank you for listening. And I'm gonna upload this, and I'm surprised my camera hasn't cut out, but I wish you all well. And I have another video, but it's about politics, and I have to go make my fried fish. So there was something else I had to tell you, but I can't do it now. I did Michael Vaughn. I did the animals, and I'll try to find that video. It was really interesting, and it was neat. It just came upon me like this knowledge of, and that's, I've been waiting so long for that vision to be explained to me, and I will wait. I'm patient. you know. So I'll explain more about the Great Cleansing at another time, but we'll start with Rainbow Bridge next time, and I wish you all well, and I love you, and I hope you have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend, and we hope to get down the shore again. I want to take a little summer, yeah, and see her have her swim, and I know she's happy there. The little terrarium's doing great. The water's nice and clear, and I keep it nice. And anyway, I do love you, and I will talk to you soon. And I'm sorry I can't answer all your comments. I've been trying, but I appreciate every single one of you, and we'll get there. We'll do something. We'll get I'll teach you, whatever I know. Whatever I know is yours. You can have it. I'm supposed to share. It won't cost anything. I love you. Bye.